So, yeah,
well, that's it. Like what I thought about it from the point of view of like, what does someone want see me do in Tableau? Drag text boxes around a canvas, or bring
all day. 20 minutes of text box dragging.
You don't find that thrilling?
Maybe we're a bit too similar, Andy.
I know. So we're about 3 minutes in, and this is the first time you started dragging pills onto shelves, and we are coming up to what is one of the biggest mic drop moments in Iron Viz this year, I think, because here we are. So what's going on? You're building a scatter plot, all very good, and then something ridiculous is about to happen. Like,
there we go.
So I'm going to pause because what just happened?
So I did a lot of pre-prep work in prep. I hadn't used prep before, but I thought it was actually pretty brilliant for doing this sort of essentially it's called scaffolding, isn't it? Because what I'm doing there is I'm creating a bunch of shapes, and for all intents and purposes, all you're doing there is taking one line and creating more of those lines to create a shape. It's relatively straightforward, but you get this lovely effect where essentially it's built my chart for me. And it sounds really straightforward and stuff, but obviously it's a little bit more complicated than that.
So Keisha, I don't know if what you think, but Alex just said it's really very simple. I took one row of data and used it to build multiple shapes. Now, what do you think?
I used to be a product consultant. I'm with the developer advocate now, but I started Tableau as a product consultant, and I've done some of this work, and I would not categorize it as easy.
I mean, if you imagine a square, it's literally, if you had to draw a square, you're doing the same, but using coordinates. So you start in a corner and you draw around that square, and so there's 5 points. You're just telling Tableau where to go to create them.
But that's not just a square. I see a circle, a square, another circle, a line, and a whole bunch of other stuff.
Choose those shapes too. What made you go with circle versus square versus the lines?
No, that's a good question, actually. Do you know what? I did actually think about it for a long time. The square allowed me to play off the PM 2.5, which, for those who don't know, is like the really super fine particulate, with like the 10, which is the coarse particulate. Both really bad, but I thought, it might be interesting to see, are they kind of like linearly? I've lost my screen. Sorry, guys. Like linearly related, and so that was that one. And then with the emissions on the other side, I thought it'd be quite nice to play off, emissions versus that particulate. And emissions to me kind of reminds me of a cloud in general. So I was thinking, I'll kind of circle the imagery there that makes sense.
Can you explain what is the glyph? Right, I believe it's called a glyph, I think. And so for each mark with its group of shapes, what are we actually looking at? Each one is a city, but then what do the various components mean?
Yeah, so there's metrics around each of the city, and with the data itself, there was a lot of nulls in a lot of columns. So I picked what I thought was the most reliable data that we were given, and of that, I tried to do kind of a cause and effect chart. So we've got the effects on the top, and then maybe some causes on the bottom. So with the energy usage, be that hot or cold.
Right.
So that was my loose thinking about it. The glyph chart, I never heard of it. I just wanted to create something, pretty abstract, because of all the good stuff I've seen coming out of, like Georgia Loopy, Steph Pos. But for me, it worked.